And welcome back to heyjocey TV. This episode, we're going to talk about the top 5 things that I learned my first year teaching. If you did not see my very first video about my experience my first year, head down to the description box and there is a link there. Check out that video. In that video, I discussed how challenging my first year was. But I also referenced a few things that helped me get along. So in this video, we're going to talk about the 5 things I learned. And some of these things helped me to really have more of a challenging year as opposed to a horrible year. So stay tuned and we're going to dive right in. The very first thing that I learned was that you need a team to support you. A team is not going to be given to you, but you're going to need one to support you. Now, you may get a team from somewhere else, but I did not have a team to support me. Straight off the bat, it was like, welcome back. Thanks for coming. So I ended up having to kind of create my own team and kind of create like trust. This is not a team where you're like, hey, can we sit down every month and have a conversation? That wasn't the type of team I had. The type of team I had was, it consisted of the autism coordinator that was assigned to my school. She was very supportive. I love her to pieces, and she's still supportive to this day. It consisted of a retired but still working speech language pathologist, or SLP. It also consisted of an occupational therapist and an instructional assistant. And so all of these ladies helped me to really nail down kind of what was happening, what was going on, what I needed to do that first year of teaching. So I met everyone when I came in that January to be a board sub in the same classroom. And I forged relationships from that point. From January to June, I forged great relationships with them. And they were able to really, really help me to understand the processes of a special needs classroom, especially a non-verbal special needs classroom. So a lot of my students are non-verbal. So it was really a big deal for me to have the speech language pathologist there. And she also had, I really feel like she had some background in OT because she jumped in and helped me in so many different situations. But she was very well seasoned and she knew her job and she knew special education. So it was so helpful to have these ladies. When I met them, they were already preparing some things for that classroom. And I just dived in, asked the questions, learned what I needed to learn, and we worked so well together. The only downside to having my team was one of my teammates. She ended up going to a different school, and I was the speech language pathologist. So again, she was retired, but she still worked to assist at different high schools in the county that we work in. So I had some amazing people. So the first thing I learned is that you got to create a team. You need a team of people that can be there, that can help you, that can push you, that can give you those ideas when you're like searching and trying to figure it out. They already know some things. So build a team. Do not be shy and raise your hand. Number 1, build that team. All right. So the next thing that I learned was some things you're not going to find in a textbook, training, or sitting in a classroom. So for me, I came in as what they consider a career switcher. So what a career switcher is in the state of Virginia is that you can come in as a teacher if you have a bachelor's degree or higher and you are able to pass a certain class. So that is what I'm on. I'm basically on a provisional license. So with that, when I came in, the things I'm learning in my classes are not the things that I'm always running into. So having my team was number 1. But the other thing that I did was I continued to research. Like Pinterest is my best friend. Google is another friend. And I literally search and I read articles about behaviors. I read articles about data. I read articles about so much stuff that sometimes I read too much and I'm too knowledgeable that I don't know what to do with it. But that's the one thing I learned, that it's not going to be in a textbook. It's not going to be in a training. You're going to have to go out here and be a lifelong learner yourself and get this information. Okay? Third thing. Number 3. The third thing that I learned is organization matters. I don't care what anyone else says. If you don't stick to the plan, honey, you may slip. And guess what? I did not stick to my organization plan. I had it all mapped out up here, but I did not get it together in that first year like I wanted to. Like I was smooth sailing like September, October, and then the floodgates of eligibilities opened and I lost control. Somewhere. So the third thing is organization matters. Keep a clear desk. So the SLP that was a part of my team and is a very important asset to me. She used to clean my desk off and used to tell me all the time, your desk is a mess, you need to clean it off. And so I would leave out and go to the bathroom or a meeting or something, and my desk would be clean when I got back. So going into my second year, I'm like, let me clean this desk off. Let me make sure I have my system set up, and let me make sure I have everything I need to keep a very, very, very organized area. So that's the third thing. Be organized. Like, I don't care. Figure out a way to keep your IEPs in line, your IEP meetings in line, work-life balance. If you are balanced enough, like, it's never really a work-life balance because there are days I still bring work home that I did not get done during the day. Maybe I had to write an IEP or something that I may have to write outside of school hours, but it's okay because it's very, very rare. But if I'm organized enough, I don't really have to do that, and I use my time wisely. So using time management is a part of organization, so that's a key. Make sure you're organized with your time and your day. Kind of stick to it. Don't jump into just a lot of stuff. And if you do, you're gonna find yourself way more burnt out than you really need to be. Take a break. Seriously. I just talked about like that work-life balance. Take a break. You're gonna need it. I remember it was days that we were running on E in my classroom because we just thought we could do it. We were superhumans, and it burned us out quickly. Take a break. When you come home, there are days I don't even open my laptop. I don't even open my book bag. I just leave it in the trunk, and I don't touch it because I need a break. I need a mental break. And coming home to my son and my fiance are like the biggest things for me, just to hang out with them and not have to think about work, think about school, think about students, think about anything. Take a break. You need it. Take a break throughout the day. I know for me, one of the things I would do was when my students would go maybe to the gym, I would go down to the clinic and talk to the nurse. So I love my nurse, my school nurse. Hey girl, if you looking at this. But I love both of y'all. Hey y'all. If y'all see this, hey y'all. But I love them to pieces because I could go in and just breathe and be like, y'all, it's rough. Can you pray for me? Can y'all give me some words of encouragement today? And I would take a few minutes just to sit there because it was very calming generally in there, and I could just breathe. So take a break. Please take a break. Do not work yourself silly. If it does not get done, it's okay. Add it to the to-do list for tomorrow, and it will get done. I am learning because I had to go back to a paper planner that if I don't get my to-do list done that day because something happened, I make sure I review and then add it to the next day so I can get it done. It's a top priority. So if it's like one of the last things I needed to do, like, I don't know, finish a present level for a student for an IEP, then it's the very first thing I do when I have my downtime, my planning time, and I can go in and I take care of that, and then everything else falls under it. It's okay. It'll get done by Friday. I promise you. Your to-do list is bigger on Monday than it is on Friday. You're going to get it done. But take a break, take a breather, drink a Sprite or Pepsi, whatever you need, because we need it as teachers. And people don't realize that how stressful it can really be just to sometimes have to handle life and then lives. So yeah, take a break. That was like literally one of the big things I learned. Then the fifth and final thing that I learned from my first year teaching was that sometimes you have to think outside the box. And what I mean by thinking outside of the box is children with special needs. They're all different. Just like any other child, they're all different, right? And every single child has something that makes them tick more than others. Some that, and when I say tick, I mean something that excites them, something that gets them going, and something that they will really, really work for. And so I had one student, for instance, he was a tough cookie at the beginning of the school year. Now he's like the sweetest kid, and I missed him all summer. But where most students would work for foods and snacks, or even a chance to go outside, those things did not motivate him to do anything. And I mean nothing. So we had to think outside the box. So I went back to the drawing board and I said, Mom, what does he really, really like? She told me he liked music. I didn't realize that he liked gospel music. So what we had to do was use what we had. And so I would tell him, you have to finish your assignment or you can't have your gospel music. And so one of our signs for gospel music for him was to just clap his hands. And so I would say, if you want to listen to gospel music today for 15 minutes, you have to complete X, Y, and Z, and then you can get your reward. And so we use a lot of visuals, and we use a lot of visuals in the class anyway. But for most kids, I didn't think that he would even care what the genre of music was, but it was definitely gospel music was his thing. So I had to think outside the box for that. And there are times I had to think outside the box for testing. I had to think outside of the box for just almost anything that pertained to my students. I had to think outside the box for. So those were the top 5 things that I learned this school year, this past school year. And that was create your team, not just like some team you sit and chat with, but a team that's going to support you. And it can be a lot of give and take. That's perfect. Create your team, stay organized, make sure that you are constantly learning because nothing is just taught in class or in training. Make sure that you are super duper organized. I think I said that twice. And sometimes you have to think outside the box. And that's fine. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this video. If you liked it, I want you to go down and hit the thumbs up. If you think that there is a teacher out there that could use this, go ahead and hit that share button. And of course, if you are not subscribed to my channel, I want you to go ahead and make sure that you subscribe now. All right. And also hit the bell so you'll know when more videos are coming out. So thank you again for tuning in to Hey Jocey TV. It has been a pleasure to chat with you today, and you have a fantastic rest of your day.